Faith, from the very first day we actually had a conversation, I just knew there was something different about your particular mind. You are my purest Padi of life, not because you are completely pure, but because the most little things gives you the most meaning. You know how much I enjoy ice cream, and you made a diligent effort to get one, even with your own money every single week. I personally think you are not just created enough for who you are and how your mind works brilliantly and almost in everything of life. I would like to tell myself, oh yeah, of little faith, you have found a faithful friend whose name is Faith. So to the friend I want to continue our friendship even outside the house is Thelma and Faith.
Hey, I thought it was Dede. Hey. These people are taking me on our ways.
It was very emotional yesterday in the Big Brother Naija house when housemates were told to talk about two of their housemates that they've connected with in the Aquafina-branded of life task. We are going to talk about every housemate, who they picked. But first of all, let's talk about Joanna and Fate, because I know that is what most viewers want to know. There's been a kind of triangle between the both of them. Then we'll also talk about Dede and Kola, who they picked, before we talk about other housemates. Joanna picked Fate and Thelma as her party of life. So when it was her turn to speak, the way she eulogized Fate, like, I've actually said it before that there is something going on between these two people. Like, they love themselves so much, but it's as if they are hiding it from each other. Like, they've not actually had a sit down talk. And I don't know, I feel Faith actually is deliberately avoiding that discussion. Maybe he wants to have a very, very reasonable thing with Joanna outside the house. So he doesn't want to really talk about it inside the house. Do you get? So when it was her time, the way she talked about Faith, that in the second week, Faith was the first person she walked up to, and had they struck a conversation, and he was telling Faith that he likes the way he speaks, that Faith is so intelligent. Like, Faith have even done a lot of things to her, for her in that house safe, even though camera doesn't show us everything. So she actually hammered on how caring Faith has been to her, how Faith buys her ice cream every week. Like, we didn't really know that, because there was a time I saw the two of them licking ice cream, a clip of them licking ice cream, but I never knew it was Faith. It was Faith that was sponsoring that treat. So he said Faith knew how much she likes ice cream, then he took it upon himself to be buying her ice cream for the both of them every week from his own BB Naira. So do you get? Like, there's actually something brewing. Like, she wasted all her time, all her 4 minutes for this party of life stuff. It was Faith that she talked about, and I actually love it for them. Even though I'm not a fan of Joanna, but because of this love between between her and Faith, like, I'm beginning to like her. I'm beginning to like them, because anytime Faith is very intelligent. If Faith shows Joanna, it means Joanna is a good person. It means Joanna is best for him, and because of Faith, I'm getting to like Joanna, and I really wish them well in this their relationship, and I hope they continue outside the house. They should do something meaningful, as in they should carry on with that relationship and make it big outside the house. And then when it was time to hand over the bracelet and the necklace, she called Faith and Thelma. She said those were the two people she would want to continue their relationship with outside the house. That actually got me a bit surprised. I wasn't really surprised that she picked Faith for the bracelet. I was surprised that she picked Thelma, because I really didn't know she and Thelma have that kind of relationship. Like, I didn't see it coming. I didn't know she and Thelma is that close. I actually felt it was Dede she would have picked, because we all know she and Dede, there's actually a kind of connection between the two of them. They understand each other, their vibe just match and everything, coupled with the fact that they picked each other in those their treat and everything. Like, I have not really seen her that much with Thelma, like I've seen her with Dede. So picking picking Thelma was kind of, I didn't see that coming. It was surprising for me. Then when it was let's now shift over to Faith. When it was Faith's turn, when Faith walked on the stage, what he said was that 4 minutes was too small for her to talk about Joanna. So he didn't really talk anything about Joanna. He just handed the bracelet to Joanna, and handed the bracelet to Joanna and Culture. So it was even only Culture that he talked about. He talked about how Culture has been a good friend, how Culture has been there for him, how Culture have confided in him, in some certain things about his life, when he was struggling, how Culture slept under the bridge and everything. So he actually he said he liked their relationship, how close Culture was to him, and how trustworthy Culture found him to be able to confide in him in those things. And about the person outside the house that he picked, they were told to pick two housemates, then one that was already evicted. He picked Otega. The way he also talked about Otega, eulogized him. Like, I didn't actually know him and Otega have that kind of a sweet relationship, because the only time I've seen him and Otega having discussion was actually when they had kind of a little altercation because of that their failed tax that emanated from Zita, him not throwing the ball to Zita, something like that. So that was actually when I saw him and Otega having the discussion, because I think Otega appeared to be like a sore loser. So I didn't actually know that the two of them clicked that much, for him to pick Faith, for him to pick Otega as his party of life. So now, what I think, or should I say, what do you guys think about this Joanna and Fate stuff? A lot of people have been saying things, stuff on the internet. Like, some people are saying, like me, what I felt was that when Faith said 4 minutes is too small for him to talk about Joanna, I felt he really loved Joanna so much that he doesn't really want to have that talk inside the house. If you watch that, I think they love each other so much that they are avoiding to have that talk inside the house. So I think that Faith actually want to talk about relationship. Like, he wants to take whatever he have with Joanna serious outside the house. He doesn't want to strike a conversation about that inside the house or something. Maybe he doesn't want the thing to be on air or something. But from what he said, a lot of people, the reaction online have been so divided. Why some are saying, oh, it's like he doesn't really like Joanna that much to talk about him, compared with the fact, considering the fact that Joanna eulogized him, the way Joanna talked so much good thing about him, when he got to his turn, he didn't really say anything about Joanna aside just saying 4 minutes was not okay. So guys, what do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. What you think? Do you think Faith saying 4 minutes is not enough for him to talk about Joanna? Do you think he's kind of, maybe he does not love Joanna or like her enough to talk about her, or you think he have a very strong love for her that he feels if he start to talk about Joanna, he may not have that time to talk about other housemates, so he left it? Because a lot of people are feeling that maybe him and Joanna will actually have a sit down talk, maybe after the show or something. They want to, something is actually brewing between the two of them, and I hope the thing it leads to the altar, because I actually like the two of them for each other. Then now let's shift to Dede and Kola. Okay, Dede spoke first before Kola. When it was Dede time, to pick her paddy of life, she picked Kola midday, for those bracelets and jewelries. She didn't actually talk about Kola, and I was somehow surprised, even though I think because of the fact that she and Kola have been going back and forth these few days after the eviction show. They've been kind of a weird energy around the two of them. Their relationship have been so cool. So I think that was why she, coupled with the fact that Kola accepted to be a house guest to Zita, maybe Dede actually does not really like that. So we all surprised that Dede picked Coin and Midday, even though I wasn't really that surprised, because come on, Coin is also close to Dede, and Midday is also close to Dede. But I actually didn't see Dede picking Midday coming, because I felt because of that exposition Ebuka did, when he asked Dede about about her friendship with, when he asked Midday about her friendship with Dede, after that eviction of last 2 weeks Sunday, the relationship between Dede and Midday has been kind of loose. It wasn't that strong as before. So, but it's like the two of them, they are getting back together, because even while they were preparing for the tax, I saw the two of them talking. Like, it's like they've now started talking. Yeah, they praised Mide so much, and everything. So that was it for Dede and Mide. Kola was actually, when it was Kola's turn, like Kola was actually surprised that Dede did not pick him. So kind of he revenged. I think, or a lot of people felt Kola wrote Dede's name in his speech. In part of his speech, he wrote Dede's name. But when Dede spoke first and Dede did not mention him, like he made a last minute correction. He removed Dede's name from his speech. So when he was now talking and calling the person that was his party of life, he picked K Bobo and Bright Morgan. Yeah. Then and now let's talk about other housemates. When we are done, we'll now talk about, okay, you guys, it was after this party of life, it was Faith that won the task. Yeah, congratulations to Faith. He won the party of life task. And I'm actually not surprised that Faith won, because he put in too much. He put in a lot of energy. Do you guys notice what happened when he was giving his own speech? Everybody who talk in that place, they all came with paper. But Faith, I don't know, that boy is so brilliant, so intelligent to that extent that he had everything he was going to say in his mind. Like, he went there without paper. I pray that boy wins the show. Like, I don't want any rugged person, any kind of loose ragaga person to win the show. For the first time in Big Brother Naija, I actually want an intelligent and smart person to win, and I'm rooting for Faith. If Faith to win this show, I will be very, very happy. Like, it's like I'm taking it upon myself. You see, Faith must win this show. No matter, Faith must win this show. I want Faith to win this show. He went there without paper, and he didn't miss any line. Like, everything he had rehearsed, planned to say, he said everything. Like, everything was just flowing. Like, I give it up for that boy. I give it up for him. He's one in a million. Joanna is actually lucky, to have him, to have someone like Faith. I pray they actually fall in love for real. Then Rob Boy picked Zita and Jason J. Mensan picked Faith and Coin. Imisi picked K Bobo and Kola. Imisi's own was actually surprising to me, because I know Imisi and Isabella have been so close in this show. After Kaikumi's eviction, they've been so close. I was surprised that she didn't pick Isabella. But speaking K Bobo and Kola, I'm also not surprised, because we all know that she's also close with K Bobo and Kola. Yeah, they've been so close in the show. So, and in that task, you are only allowed to pick two people. So I think maybe picking Kola and K Bobo does not really mean she doesn't like Isabella, because it's just two people she's allowed. I'm very sure maybe if they had told them to pick three people, Isabella would have also come in. Then Bright Morgan picked Mide and Kola. Bright Morgan known is not a surprise. We all know his entanglement with Mide, and also Kola is just like his male bestie in the house, because they've had a lot to talk about, a lot of gossip and everything. Then Thelma picked K Bobo and Joanna. Coin picked Dede and Mensan. Mide picked Bright Morgan and Dede. Mide's own, it didn't come off as a surprise to me, because he's entangled with Bright Morgan, and she's also she and Dede are also like the best thing in the house. The way she elongized Dede, I'm very, very happy that their friendship have come back. Their friendship is now very good now. It's kind of coming back. They are coming back together. There, Jason J picked Kosho and Sultana. Then, aside Jason J picking Kosho and Sultana, he also talked about Dede. He also briefly talked about other housemates, how they are also his party of life. But the people he gave those bracelets to be Kosho and Sultana. But he also talked about Dede and elongized how Dede is a very good friend to him and everything. And there was a weird face that Dede was giving when Jason J was praising her and calling, elogizing her. She was giving that weird face, that weird energy, and it was kind of funny. It was shocking. A lot of people have been saying stuff about that on the internet, and you won't actually blame Dede for the faces she was making, because ever since Dede came back to the house from that her fake eviction, we all know that she and Jason J have not been talking, because of that gossip that Jason J did with Kola when he saw Dede and Coin covering their face with blanket. He was the one that went to go and tell Kola that they are having something, that there's something going on between Dede and Coin. And aside that, he had also been involved in some other gossip that has to do with Dede. So there's been kind of a weird energy between the two of them. So I think that was they've not talked since that time. I think that I know that was why they gave that kind of a weird reaction he gave. But you actually not blame or Jason J, or you actually not fault him for calling eulogizing Dede, because come on, even though right now they are not in good terms, their vibe is somehow weird, but we will not take away the fact that they've been friends from the first. In fact, Dede and Jason J were actually the first two people that connected in that house before Dede got to know Kola and the rest. Coin, it was Jason J first, so we won't take away that fact that Jason J, he and Dede have actually come a long way. Yeah. Then Isabella picked Ivata. Yes. Okay. You were told to pick one evicted housemaid. The reason why Isabella picked Ivata, according to her, she said she and Ivata have something in common, because they were all single mother, and they have children. They had kids that are almost the same age mate. So kind of he relates with Isabella. They have something in common. They can actually, they resonate because of that having something, having a child, being a single mom. Then she also picked Imisi and Sultana for her bracelet. Then K Bobo picked Kola and Imisi, and also picked Ivata, talked about Ivata, because according to her, she said why according to K Bobo, he said why he picked Ivata is that Ivata, he and Ivata clicked in the house and they've been talking. Ivata told him about her dad not being around, when he was growing up, that it was only her mom that raised her up, and kind of K Bobo kind of relates with that story, because it was actually the same thing with him. It was just him and his mom. His dad was never in the picture. So I think that was how he and Ivata clicked. Then Sultana picked Jason J and Isabella. I am not surprised that she picked Jason J and Isabella. Who would it have picked? He and Jason J, they've been doing stuffs in the house. Then Isabella, aside the Doris Big Soso that have been evicted, Isabella is the closest person. So that is it for this video, guys. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys think? Also, once again, congratulations to Fate for winning the Padi of Life task. Guys, drop your thoughts in the comment section. What you think about the task yesterday? Then if this is your first time coming across my channel, please do well to subscribe, turn on your notification bell, like, comment and share. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.